Hey, it's Chris. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are in the middle of exploring thoughts, ideas, and concepts from my book, Just Go, about jumping in, taking the first step to make things happen. This book really changed my life in that it laid out a roadmap for me to be aligned in my decisions and actions in pretty much everything I do in personal and professional career life. So hopefully you will get something out of hearing these stories, and it will inspire you to get out there and make something happen in your own life. We're digging in. The next chapter, the big leagues. It was the beginning of 2012, and I went to sleep every night wondering if I'd get a 6 a.m. call. See, I was a substitute teacher at Bangor High School, the same place I went to high school as a student a few years before. I hated it. As a student, I remember thinking, at least these teachers get paid to be here. But now I was a teacher. I was getting paid to be there. As a substitute, I didn't even really need to do anything except show up and take attendance. It sounds like a dream job. I hated it even more. Most of the students were awesome and knew as long as no one got physically injured, I didn't really care if they did their work or not. I was the best teacher ever. Ever notice that whenever you give a group of people something awesome, one of them insists on ruining it for everyone? Every classroom I walked into had one idiotic student who thought it was his or her job to make my life hell. I could write an entire book about the horrors of being a substitute teacher, but that's not the point here. It was a catch-22 when the phone rang each morning. An off-balance scale of being partly excited to make some cash mixed with crippling anxiety of the horrors that these monsters had in store for me. But sometimes all it takes is one unexpected phone call to turn things around. One evening the phone rang from a strange number. I hate answering unknown calls, so it went to voicemail. As I listened to this magical message, I felt everything start to change. It wasn't gradual, it all changed instantly. The call was from Armed Forces Entertainment, asking me if I'd like to go to an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean to spread smiles to the troops stationed there with my juggling show. Yes. Why don't calls like this come every day instead of those terrible substitute teacher calls? Did I forget to mention that in addition to my juggling show, the tour will be with 6 NFL cheerleaders? I never did tell the sub-caller that I wouldn't be available for the next few weeks. I have to assume she cheered in excitement of me escaping when she heard my voicemail greeting informing callers I had left the country to have the best time of my life. There were late-night adventures in Singapore that justified the $37 drinks. If you ever want to feel really awesome about life, go out on the town in a different country with a crew of professional cheerleaders. I'm not a famous person, but I'm sure that's what it feels like. I was gone for a few weeks to perform for the troops for about an hour throughout a few days. The rest of the time was spent hanging out at the beach, sailing, barbecuing, and exploring the island of Diego Garcia. We hung out in the airport control tower, got behind-the-scenes tours of the ships that carry gear and live ammo into combat zones, and sat in helicopters that were being shot at days earlier. Whenever I get frustrated about anything, I remember how thankful I am that I don't have to fly in one of those things while getting shot at. Huge props to everyone who actually does that. It was like opening the door to a fantasy land where everything was perfect. But as our time on the island ran out, I found myself wishing it could last forever. How can I make this feeling never end? I never answered the sub-caller's phone calls ever again. Followed by some photos of us on the island by the book, and you can take a look at those. I never answered the sub-caller's phone calls again. That's sometimes there's a moment that feels like that decision. And I really, after that trip, I didn't go back to substitute teaching, not one single day. That was the end. I saw the other side of what was possible, that I didn't need to go do this thing that I hated. Wondering if I was even going to be able to go do it to make a couple dollars to be able to survive. And I got a taste of that, of performing professionally and getting paid and to travel. And it literally just, I got the peek at that, the taste of that, and it was enough to say, I'm gonna do this 100%. So what can you do? What can you do today to get yourself into that position? Maybe you're just, I don't know where to start. I don't know I don't know how to get invited to go on tour. But I sent in applications. I would email people, send them my videos, do whatever I could do to get that taste of that thing. And then once I got that taste, then it was boom. The decision is made for you. You don't even have to think about it. You're like, oh, this is obviously what I want to do. So that's the question, is how can you get yourself into that position to make that decision easy? And it just comes from action. It's small steps every day. Send a video or whatever you want to do. Reach out to people and make something happen, or make a video, whatever it is that you want to do. You gotta make it happen. And thank you again for being here, a part of this. That was kind of the first section of the book, of the stories of how I got to where how things got started. And then the second part of the book is just a bunch of photos that kind of tell a story. The next video that will come will enter into part 3, Your Turn, which is a collection of essays, not so much of the backstory of where I came from, but essays and stories of experiences that I've had and the lessons that I've learned from them. So if you would like to continue with the journey, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where all of these videos are being posted. And if you want to hear me talk to other people who are out there making things happen, I host a show called the Between Dreams Podcast, which you can hear on Spotify, on iTunes, on your podcast app, everywhere you listen to podcasts, and it's also on video on YouTube. So there's another reason to subscribe and check out the YouTube channel. And finally, if you want to dig even deeper, on patreon.com/betweendreams, you can become part of the family, part of the community, and help support what we're doing. We're on a mission to create daily content like this to inspire you to get out there and make something happen. Every single dollar that comes in through t-shirts, book sales, Patreon, through the YouTube channel, all goes to create these daily videos, and they're going to keep getting better and better thanks to you guys for watching and supporting the show and the channel and the thoughts and the books and all the things that I've been creating. So thank you. That's it for now. Goodbye.